Hey, family. Look, before we get into it, I got to say thank you, Father, for bringing us together for another mother daughter moment. Because of him, we get to get inspired, empowered, and we get to chat about things that concern you. And I am so grateful for that. I don't take this opportunity for granted. I don't take your time for granted. I cherish every single moment, and I'm so thankful to God for it. I am super excited about tonight. I hope you enjoy it. All right, guys, let's get into it. Thank you so much for joining us for another mother daughter moment. I am your host, your girl, your favorite auntie, Alexis Robinson. And tonight I am here with the sultry Dan'Talisha Nicole, an amazing singer, songwriter, and she is going to talk to us about being all in this industry, all in our lives, all in pursuing our dreams. Everybody say, hey, Danty.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. Dancy, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am so excited about having you here. You have no idea.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. I am excited to be here for sure.
All right, Mama. So let's get right into it. Where are you from?
I am originally from Georgia, as you can probably tell from my southern accent. I'm from the South, so I was born in Savannah, Georgia, and grew up in Augusta, Georgia. But my parents were military, so I've been a little bit of everywhere. We lived in Hawaii after Georgia, moved there maybe around 8 or 9 years old, lived in Mississippi, and then eventually Alabama, Pittsburgh, and now here. So I've been a little bit of everywhere, but I am from Georgia originally.
Okay, so how did you end up in Virginia, Miss Southern Belle?
Yes. So as I lived in Pittsburgh for a little bit, I actually went to the University of Pittsburgh for grad school, where I received my master's in social work with a concentration in community organizing and social administration. And so with that, I have always had a dream of working for the federal service. And I ended up becoming what you call a presidential management fellow.
Okay.
And that allowed me to come here and work in DC at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And so that's what brought me to the Virginia area. Well, I worked in DC, but lived in Virginia. When I first moved here, I was in Woodbridge. And so that's how I got to this area. So
yes, ma'am. Beautiful and smart. Yes. Smart girls are cute girls. Hello. Come on, somebody. Okay, so we know you are a singer songwriter in addition to having this master's and being a fellow. So can you describe that journey? Like those seem polar opposites to some, right?
Man. Yeah, life has been a journey for sure. So I will say this, I've been blessed to achieve what I would say was my first dream job. My first dream job was to be a presidential management fellow in the federal service and to one day work for the White House under the Obama administration. And when I say God is good, he blessed me to have that opportunity. So I actually worked at HUD, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and eventually...
Ma'am, hold on. What you saying there? You said you was at this White House working with who now?
A short period of time. And so, no, I was. That was a... God just really outdid himself with that. But one thing I did was I believed that I was able to do it. I believed it, and I spoke it into existence. So that being said, I was a presidential management fellow for about 2 years, and then I transitioned into being a management analyst in the federal service. So altogether, from 2014 to 2018, I was in the federal government. And so I was able to do a lot, honestly, had a lot of great leadership, a lot of great experiences in leadership development, all of that. But in 2017, life took a bit of a turn, and not in a bad way, but in a good way. I was actually a member of Renaissance Leadership Network at our church. Grace, shout out to Bishop.
Come on, Grace.
Making sure that our leaders are growing and those who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs to just really be exposed to things to help you do that. So I believe it was the end of 2016 where we had somebody come and talk to us about having multiple streams of income.
Yes.
And quite honestly, I was like, God, how could I ever do that? I'm so busy with the things that I do in government, what could I do? And honestly, the scripture came to me, your gifts will make room for you.
Come on.
Because, I said, okay, Lord, you gave me a couple of gifts. But I thought about singing, right? And so honestly, originally, I said, well, some additional money on the side, and I only intended to do things like weddings and honestly funerals, just things where I could just pop up, do a quick little performance, get some extra change, and keep it moving. And I remember sharing that with a friend of mine. I'm like, well, what do you normally charge for weddings and stuff? He's a musician. What do you do, And he had a conversation with me that I think was very pivotal to me actually starting to research more about what was required to be an actual artist.
Okay.
And so he said to me, listen, a lot of people can sing, he said, but you really got to understand the music industry. You need to be able to, do you have a repertoire of songs that you would be able to just, go and sing? Do you have access to musicians that will come and play for you? Do you know, just the business side of music? And I was like, well, no, no, I don't, but I know I can sing. But essentially he was saying that's not enough. So when he said that to me, it just made me start doing some initial research while I was still working for the government. And honestly, I just started taking steps. I'm like, all right, let me research, what's required to go and do a wedding. Let me research what's required to go and do this. And as I started talking to different people, honestly, I just got an overwhelming amount of support from different people that were like, we're happy that you're actually started, thinking about singing and, you should go in this direction, do that. So honestly, the whole becoming an artist thing was not something I actually set out to do. It was more of I know I can sing, I can make extra money. But as I started researching and connecting with people, I just started getting connected with different people too. My vocal coach, which is Miss Angela Summers, who is a wonderful, wonderful vocal coach to, my producer for my album Breaking Free, and just started talking to different people. And so as I did that, that's kind of how the whole becoming an artist thing came about. So one of the pivotal moments, and then I'll wrap up this answer, but one of the pivotal moments, honestly, was something that was very innocently done. There was the So Gone challenge that was out on Facebook. As you all know, there's all kinds of challenges that we're doing on social media these days, especially during the pandemic. But prior to that, people were still doing them. And so the So Gone challenge came out, and I saw people, friends of mine, that were like singing. Some people were rapping. And literally, I was like, oh, I want to write a little something. I just want to participate and do something fun. And I did a piece where I sung as well as rapped, which I am not a rapper. I don't consider myself a rap, but I did it out of the sake of having fun, and it blew up. I mean, I have now, I don't know how many, 13,000 views. It was just, it was overwhelming because I did not expect that amount of response, and so I guess that honestly gave me confidence to see that people actually enjoyed my gift. I mean, I knew people did, I knew I could sing, but that actually let me know, like, you can actually do a little bit more than what you're probably thinking about doing. So it was not an intended thing, but that's kind of how the journey to becoming an artist happened. And I was still working for government while, recording my album and able to manage my schedule and things like that until I actually left the government.
You did what now? She said she left this good government job, y'all. Wait a second.
Until I actually left the government. I was like, now, Lord, what's going on now? Because listen, I'm comfortable. What you doing? What you doing over here? And so I will say this, during 2017, when I was doing all of that research and just kind of, learning what it was, like I said, required to be an artist, I felt like God was intentionally setting entrepreneurs in my space, in my circle of friends, in particular, Black female entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And so I kind of caught on to that. I was like, now, Lord, all of a sudden, all these folks leaving their jobs, their corporate positions, and they were starting their own businesses. And I started feeling like there was a little bit of a tug of me that was like, okay, you might be doing that too. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't know who that is. That's them. Like, that's not what I'm doing. But it was actually after I had my album release concert. And there was just some things that happened that really confirmed to me that it was time for me to leave my job and really pursue entrepreneurship full time. I did not know what that meant. I did not know what it looked like, but I felt such a strong just urge to do it. And I believe that God honored that, what I was feeling. And I prayed sincerely about it. And was like, God, I I'm not trying to step out on this thing. If this ain't you, if this ain't, what's going on. So I just prayed about it and I felt a peace about it. And so in doing that, I took the big risk of leaving my good government job and trying to pursue music and entrepreneurship full time.
Wow. That is a leap of faith, y'all.
Yeah.
Key in on the thing she said. She said first, she saw the scripture that said your gift will make room for you, right? So she was already in her word, already praying, right? This is not a sermonette, but look, we got to key in on some of these things before we start leaping, without these confirmations, right?
Right.
That she was surrounded. She did her research, right? Study to show yourself approved. Make sure you know the industry that you want to get into. And you go to people that are in the industry and get some information, like surround yourself with people that are actually doing the things that you may intend to do. Like she didn't even know. That is hilarious, Dancy. You didn't even know. Where you were going, but God brought all these people in your life to kind of show you in advance, okay, this is kind of what that looks like. This is the type of support you're going to need on this journey, right?
That's right.
Yes. And then she said, okay, I'm obedient. Look, David's place. Come on. It's in God's will. So look, if you're feeling that tug, make sure you pray 2-3 times. Let's make sure. Okay.
Get confirmation, please.
That confirmation. Now look, okay, so you hearing from God, man. You hearing. What did your mom say? Family say when you say, hey mom, I heard from God, I'm going to leave this good government job.
Ooh, that thing was scared, honey. You hear me?
Yes.
No, her initial response truly, I definitely told both my parents, my mom and dad, and both of them were very concerned because here it is, their daughter who has this master's degree that has, reached these certain heights in some people's eyes. And you're going to walk away from all that. You're going to walk away from your security, your financial security. As a mother, she wants her child to be covered. She's thinking about health insurance. She's thinking about all these things that, I think they knew that I was thinking about it, but they were a little bit concerned that maybe my child ain't thinking about these things. Like, what's going on? So honestly, there was a lot of, fear and anxiety from my parents. And honestly, just I wouldn't say trying to talk me out of it, just like, are you sure? Like, did you really, But my mom eventually got to a place where she said, I know my child, and one thing I know is that she has a relationship with God. I'm not going to stand in between what she believes the Lord is telling her to do. And so it shifted from that fear that she was feeling to, God, I just got to trust you with my child. And I have to trust that she is being led by you and that you will cover her no matter what this thing looks like.
Right.
And so it was difficult. It was difficult to have, some of the closest people to you. Not that they didn't support it, they were just fearful. And so having to fight off the fear from those who love you to stand firm in your truth and what you believe is for you was definitely challenging, but something that God gave me the strength to get through. So they definitely support me. Don't get me wrong. They support me.
No, that's beautiful though. And that's real, right? Like when we make these big leaps and these life-changing decisions, it's not always easy for everyone around us to jump on board because it is scary, because there are a number of uncertainties and risks that go along with these big changes. So for you that are listening, considering these types of things, keep in mind, you got to give grace to the people around you, right? Because you heard clear doesn't mean they heard the same thing. And just because they're concerned for you doesn't mean that they are against you, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point, Lex. That's very good.
Right. We support you, but hey, we're
concerned.
See, man, look. But that doesn't, and the fact that your mom was able to come around and say, you know what, at the end of the day, I'm going to touch and agree and stand with you. Shout out to mom. Mom, thank you so much for being a support. Sometimes it takes them a while to come around, but y'all keep those doors open, keep those lines of communication open. Don't allow that to become a breach in the relationship. That's one thing I emphasize here is hey, we may have our differences. That to break your relationship or cut the lines of communication.
Yeah, that's good.
So maybe in 6 months they'll be your biggest cheerleader.
That's right. That's right.
I know I saw mom one time handing out CDs, selling CDs. You want this CD, baby?
Honey, please don't play with her because she'll be at them events too, and she will let you know. Listen, that's my baby. This is what she do.
Yes.
I mean, one of the biggest supporters in helping me get a lot of my actually hard copy CDs. So when I say sis was like, oh, I'm gonna send that over there to them as a gift, and I'm gonna tell these people about it, and I'm gonna was getting me sales left and right. So she definitely was on board.
Yes, come through. Look at that. Okay, so we're going to talk about a little bit about the industry right now, okay? So what's the difference between being self-produced and being signed by actual label?
Yeah, so the simple answer to that is that as an independent artist, you literally are doing everything on your own versus being signed by a label. You have an organization that is behind you, right? So when it comes to, going back to the independent artist piece, when it comes to the production of your projects, when it comes to promotion, all those types of things, you're paying out of pocket. Those are things you have to cover yourself. Now, doesn't mean you can't have a team, but you are ultimately going to be building that team yourself. You may identify people that might be good and that can support your vision, right? Versus if you are signed by a label, those people are kind of already in place. They have their sales departments, their promotion departments, all those things that are already in place to make sure that that artist is successful. So that's really the big difference is that as an independent artist, you're covering everything on your own. And as a signed by a label, you have an organization that's already behind you.
Okay. So why did you decide to self-produce?
Yeah, honestly, like I said, much of my journey was just me going with the flow, like taking a step at a time. Like I didn't really know what kind of artist I wanted to be. And when I say what kind, like I didn't know I wanted to be an artist on a national level, that I want to be a local artist, that I wasn't clear on that when I first started. And so it just kind of became that as I was doing my research, I just was blessed enough to have the money to pay for the things that I was doing. So I write all of my own music. Definitely starting to do some collaborations. I think that's important too. But for my first project, I wrote all of my own music in terms of the lyrics and melodies. And so, with that, I just got connected with my producer at the time, which was Richard Davis, and, had the monies to pay for those production costs and all of that. So it was just kind of taking it day by day, step by step. And I just ended up being an independent artist and wasn't necessarily ready to try to pursue labels. I actually also like the freedom of being an independent artist because you don't necessarily have to answer to all these people. You're doing a lot of things kind of at your own liberty. However, it does require a lot. So.
Okay, so it does require a lot. What does that mean in terms of being all in with this dream of yours, this vision? How does that feel? What does that look like?
Honestly, truly, and I don't say this lightly, it requires every fiber of your being to pursue a dream and to be all in. It really does, because everything is not easy. Some people may make it look easy, but it is not. It's going to require a lot, and it requires you being willing to take risks. Yes. It requires you being willing to fail and to learn from that. One thing I stand by that I learned from a company called Becoming a Totally Responsible Person. It's called TRP, but they have an acronym that's called OFLAG. And that means that everything in life, there is an opportunity for learning and growth. And so that means that if a failure, what we may deem as failures happens, well, what can I learn from that? Yes. How can I grow from this? Because I'm not going to always get it right. I don't know everything, Right. And so with that being said, when you are pursuing a dream, there may be some times you don't always get it right, but give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Also, trust yourself, and then also surround yourself with people whom you can trust with your dream. You can't trust everybody with your dream. I remember somebody stating an example. It's almost like if a woman has a child, when they have that baby, you don't let everybody hold your baby. You got to make sure that everything is everything before you just put that baby in somebody's hands. It's the same with a dream, with a seed. You want to make sure that you're not putting that into everybody's hands. Yes. Because everybody can't handle that. So, those are some key things. Just knowing that it's going to require a lot of you. Trust yourself, surround yourself with a team of people who you can trust as well. And ultimately, pray, seek the Lord. I mean, if you're not a believer, come on over and trust God.
She said the altar is open.
You know, it requires a huge amount of faith. Yeah. It really does. I mean, and I mean, that's really what a lot of what got me through. A lot of times I didn't know how something was going to happen. I just trusted that it could happen because I trust the God whom I serve.
Yeah.
So, you know, those are some things about what it requires to be all in here.
Ma'am, all of these nuggets.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that was so much to chew on. I can barely. Yes, it's not always going to be easy.
Yeah.
It sounds like we have to get comfortable with a certain amount of risk, with a certain amount of uncertainty.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and make up in your mind, honey, if you're about to do this thing, whether it's a singing career, whether it's writing a book, whether it's building something from the ground up, whatever it is, you are going to have to put your whole self into it.
Yeah.
Hey,
absolutely.
Like everybody doesn't do it at the same pace. Everybody doesn't have the same result, but it is okay to put all of your unique self dream and pursue that thing with everything you have. Because you keep going, that thing will come to pass. I love it, Dancy. This is awesome.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, girl, you got me having chills.
And can I say one thing about what you said that I think is key too? I think it's important. Do not compare yourself to other people and what they're doing. You mentioned that everybody goes at different paces, and that is so true, because oftentimes, especially with the world of social media, we can look at, well, God, how is she up there doing that? And how is, you know, how did they get there so fast? Well, you don't really know their journey and what it took for them to get to that place. So we have to be mindful that we do not continue to compare, because that can drag us down in what God is calling us to do, you know, or what's on our heart to do. So I wanted to just point that out. I think that's a very important thing as well.
Yes, come on. Guys, you heard it here. Ms. Dan'Talisha Nicole, she is dropping all these gems for us tonight. Listen, I love it. I can't get over this. I love it. I feel like this is life. Please take all of this, take it, marinate on it, think over it, mull over it. I'm telling you, if you take these nuggets, these lessons learned, I believe that, you know, you will see greater success in your life. If I'm honest, if you will see greatness in your life, if you
absolutely
see principles that she shared tonight. Okay, Dancy.
Yes.
Girl. Okay. So here we like to play a quick game called Mom Says. Before you go, you know we have to play our game.
All right, keep it together. I hope I can be in line.
Okay.
Okay.
So Mama Said is a quick word association game. So I'm going to give you a word and you're going to tell me what your mom may have said. Okay? Okay. So tonight, your first word is work. Oh, wait.
Okay. One thing she always says is focus, focus, focus. It's something that was said to my sister when she was looking for colleges. And my mom took that from a person who said it to Liana, which is my little sister. And she always says that to us. Remember, focus, focus, focus. And so when in terms of work, you know, you got to stay focused. There's going to be a lot of distractions and things that will come your way. And so I just tend to remember that focus, focus, focus.
Focus, focus. She say about the word belief?
Yeah. I would say two things. And so one thing that she would typically say is, let it roll off let it roll off of you like a duck's back, right? So in other words, if you believe something, there may be, say if there's somebody that comes to you and says they don't believe it, right? Even when she might have hit her moment when she was having some thoughts about, you know, things that were going on in my life. But it's like, you know, let that thing roll off of you like water rolls off of a duck's back. It rolls right on off. You keep it moving. And that's the other part that she says is keep it moving. So there's going to be things that come at you. You got to let it roll off your back. Don't let that thing weigh you down. Let it roll right on off your back like water rolls off the duck's back, and keep it moving.
Yes.
Keep towards the thing, you know, that you're seeking to do. So.
Yes. Come through, mama. Okay. What would she say about hair? Mom say
about hair? I don't know. She really, I don't know that she would say anything about hair. I just know we've always been exploratory with hair. Either it's long sometimes, we cut it sometimes, it's straight some days, it's curly some days. One thing she does is she mimics a lot of things that me and my sister would do. Like when Liana cut her hair, she was like, I think I like that. I'm gonna do that. You know, that's the kind of stuff that she can say. You know, mama learning from the young folks. So
okay, it's never too late, Mom. Get your spice to life. Come on.
yeah.
Oh man. Okay, let me see. What would she say about faith?
Oh man, yeah. One thing that my mom will always say to me in terms of faith, I've had many a day where I've gone to her and been in tears, maybe because I was just having a hard time about something that I might have told her that I was believing God for, or whatever it could be. And she always says, remember who you are, remember whose you are.
Yes.
In terms of faith. So trust the God that you serve, put your faith in him, and know that he's going to carry you through no matter what it looks like. It may look hard right now. That thing may not be coming to fruition when you want it to. But trust God and trust his time. And so know who you are first and foremost, and know whose you are. You belong to the King. So that's what she was saying.
Girl, we raising offerings today. Come on, doors of the church. Has somebody passed this here plate, girl? You done served a good word. You have served a good word today.
Yes.
Let the church say amen. Come on.
Amen.
Type of amen in there right now. Lift up those hands. Yes, God.
Thank you, Lord. Yes, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Danty, thank you so much for joining us. Give us all of your information. Where can we find you? Where
Absolutely.
Your music?
Everything. Yeah, absolutely. So Dan'Talisha Nicole on Instagram and all the socials. DANTALISHA NICOLE. I always have to spell it out because I know it's long. Dan'Talisha Nicole in terms of social media. And then as far as my music goes, it's available on all, streaming platforms. So you have my first album, Breaking Free, that's available. I have a single that was released called Butterfly. And I'm actually currently working on a project now called Dreamer. So you all stay tuned.
Yes. Come through the music. Yes. I can't wait to get mine. All right, guys, you heard it here. Follow her on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, anywhere she at.
Yeah.
Dan'Talisha Nicole.
Absolutely.
Or you purchase her music.
Thank you.
Right, Dancy? And on streaming services, right?
Yes. So yeah, your Amazon Music platform, your iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, all that good stuff. Yeah, you can find the music.
Yes. Run them down, ma'am. Okay. Make sure you find her, like, share, follow. Make sure you follow us here at Mother Daughter Day. Thank you again for joining us. I hope your lives were impacted by this. I know mine was. This was awesome, guys.
Mine too.
Yes, come through.
Thank you for having me, for sure.
Of course. All right, family, we will see you next week. We're going to have a guest host. Elise Moreau will be here with a wonderful speaker. You don't want to miss it. All right, see you next time.
All right, y'all take care.